friends, and welcome back to another video. So, I have an idea of what I want to do today. So, at this point of recording, I don't think the video that I actually had planned for today is going to be finished for Monday, which is today that you guys are seeing this. But as I'm recording, I've actually finished Witch Hat Atelier. I've been chipping at this manga for so long. I already knew like some spoilers. And I've recommended Witch Hat Atelier to my friends like a whole heck of a lot. Even if it's like something that maybe they're not 100% interested in, I wanted them to at least see the artwork, or kind of like the opposite. So it's, if I know they're more story driven towards like fantasy and stuff, I recommended it. So highly recommend Witch Hat Atelier as always. But I have a lot of feelings about it right now, so I don't want to give spoilers about Witch Hat Atelier all that much. So I'm going to talk about it probably briefly, and maybe I'll talk about the characters a little bit more, because that's what I want to do today, is mostly sketching out some of the characters. Now, I'm not even gonna pretend that my pencil case can close right now. I had these mod liners and these two other pens. So these ones are Muji pens, and these ones are mod liner highlighters, I believe. So these ones I actually got from my friend, and she sent me like her favorite colors, I believe, at the moment, and they're kind of like on the pastel-y-ish side, and I did end up doing a swatch for them. I don't know if we're going to be using them today, but I was kind of carrying them around because I've been kind of like implementing them as like little areas of color into my sketches. But today, I think we're going to work with pencil and ballpoint pen. Typically, if I'm doing like inking or ballpoint pen, I would use a colored lead, but I don't know. I don't feel compelled to do that today, so I think we're just going to use normal mechanical pencil HB lead, and we're going to use the Pentel RSVP ballpoint pen because it's almost just like a black version of a mechanical pencil, so I can push the values quite a bit, but I can get that lightness and build up value in the same way you can with a mechanical pencil. That is the combination. I might use these to embellish my sketches, but I think it'll be fun in the future to actually do a spread with just these colors, because it's kind of like an interesting pairing. So Witch Hat Atelier is going to get an anime, I believe in April of this year. I think it's supposed to be in spring. And I started reading the manga sometime, I think in the later half of 2024, I think. Because I remember telling my friend about it during like the winterish months. Don't really remember when exactly I told her. I know it was in 2024. It's taken me over a year to finish the manga because I was so into like the world building and the characters to the point where I wanted to savor every chapter, my full attention, but I didn't want to do it in a way where like I'm speed reading it so that I can finish and catch up and stuff, and like I'm missing details and all that. So I tried my best to retain as much information as I could throughout the years, but the recent chapters kind of ruined me. I don't know, it's like a bit I love stories that like can pull at your heartstrings, either in the angsty way or in like a heart-touching, more heartwarming way, I guess, if that makes sense. To even out my sketchbook, I'm going to place down a coaster so that this can lay completely flat. I also have my kneaded eraser. And like I mentioned, I'm going to sketch with just a mechanical pencil. I'm going to try my best to just keep it light, and then we'll really darken everything up with the ballpoint pen. I'm not sure how well I can multitask. So I don't know if I can get all my thoughts across while I'm sketching and doodling. I might put like a blurb of what the premise of Witch Hat Atelier is. Just know that I really do love all the characters. I'm also going to draw a little bit smaller. I realized that I've been so lazy when it comes to like sketching and inking when it requires me to fill in more blacks or like do texture and stuff. And the reason being is that I draw so big that it requires me to fill up like a larger amount of an area, and I get kind of tired of doing that quite quickly. And I noticed that I like adding smaller-ish details. Maybe I should zoom in. You guys aren't gonna really be able to, well, maybe you guys will be able to see since I'm not using like a colored lead. Oh, if you can't tell, this is gonna be like a chattier, longer video, by the way. But what I wanted to mention was that when I was doing a little bit of like doodling of Keyfree in my sketchbook right after like reading the final chapters the night before, I noticed that I like doing like the inking and stuff a little bit more when it's smaller. And maybe it's because I can quickly do the details, fill up areas and all that stuff a little bit easier. Now my problem with drawing Witch Hat Atelier characters, I feel like, oh no, I forgot the name of the author. Why am I blanking? Shirahama? Kamome Shirahama. Shirahama, yes, Shirahama. They have like a particular way of like drawing them, obviously. And I don't know how well they will translate into my style. I should also prop up my sketchbook, I'm realizing. I tried adjusting the lighting. I don't know if it's any better. I was trying to see if I could cast less of the shadow, but I guess I can't get rid of it completely. But because of that, I had to move my mic. So apologies if you can't hear me as clearly. I should usually plan out a pose before I just like plop in a face or a head right away. Now, hopefully me drawing more of like the Witch Hat Atelier cast will help me branch out a little bit in the characters, because I don't draw Koji as much, who's my OC, because I don't know if it's his body proportions. I don't know how I want to portray them, because he's like a kid. He's small. He's like 13. I don't really remember how old Coco is in the manga. So I'm trying to keep my sketch like fairly light so that later on we can kind of like darken things with our ballpoint pen. Good reference of her, because I want to make sure I get her outfit correct. I love the color of their outfits for the witches that are like under Keyfree's kind of atelier. Coco's so cute though. I love the four girls that are in his atelier. They have like the perfect mix of like personalities. Because you have Coco, who's like very optimistic, but she's not like the Genki type per se. Like we have, I don't know how you say their names technically. Tetia? I might have to look up, or maybe I'll wait until like the anime comes out, then I can figure out how all the characters' names are supposed to be pronounced. Rishi? I don't know how to say their name. We have Agot, who's a little bit more like tsundere-ish. She's a little bit more prickly. But I love her characters so much. She has like so much development. But for Richie, I don't know how. I forget her full name as well. And for her, it's like, who does she remind me as? I don't know, but I love how stubbornly she is with her like her resolve of wanting to do like her own spells or the spells that she likes. Because I always struggle with the fact that how much do I want to keep, but it's the same as like the original art style, so that the characters read a little bit more, what is it called? Like they read like themselves, I guess, versus me just going full stylized on how I draw characters. But I love their character design so much. I like their personalities. And I mentioned that I have the art book. And I love looking at the artwork in that, because the artist has so many beautiful artwork and like the style that they can work with, both what they use in like in the actual manga. They use it for like some of their illustrations. But sometimes they go a little bit more like painterly. I think their versatility is kind of crazy. Checker sleeves. I love these kinds of sleeves. So like really long cuff and then kind of like a puffier sleeve. I always think it's cute. I also was brainstorming. I don't know if it's because I'm in like the fantasy-ish mindset of me thinking about Witch Hat Atelier like the entire time. I was thinking like kind of giving Selwyn back his roots to being more of like in a fantasy-ish genre. Because I never really established what I want his character to be per se, or like a story. But for some reason with that color trend, I don't know if you guys know the one that's like, I guess like you put paint on your hands, you're like aka, and then ao, and then you like rub it together and you go like murasaki or whatever, it's all like purple. That for some reason, I think I saw one that was like light or blue and white, I think. You got light blue, and I'm like, what if I gave Selwyn a thing where he comes in contact with like constellations or stars or something? Maybe his hair turns white. I'm playing around with the idea. Nothing for sure yet, but I want to play around with the idea that his powers have something to do with like the constellations and like space-ish related. And maybe giving back his original thing where something to do with like gemstones and rocks or something. I had a thing where he could turn liquids into like crystals, and he would use that to help like comrades and stuff, but I think I'm abandoning that story. I need to remember to kind of keep her a little bit more rectangular and boxy and straight cut, because she's more of like a kid. We're not doing all those curves. Let's add some ballpoint pen inking to this. I think the sketch looks cute. I don't want to lose it. I'm scared to screw this up. I'm gonna take a photo actually. There are some parts that I kind of forgot. Okay, we're switching over to the Pentel RSVP. This is like I've mentioned in the past, that's like very similar to Mechanical Pencil in terms of how light you can get your lines and how dark you can get them as well. And just like the buildup of it is very smooth. It doesn't dispense like a whole lot of ink. So I rarely ever seen these pens get like that ink blot at the very end. I just want to make sure I didn't miss any details. Does she have pockets on both sides? Yes, I believe so. I want to find a reference which is her like front facing. Yes, I think I see the pockets. Okay. Might have gave her a little bit of longer proportions. We'll see how well I can do this. I also love how sharp these lines can get because of how much ink, I guess, is dispensed from this pen. I find that like you can get such thin hair-like lines, because these can become very thin. So I'm trying to be a little bit more conscious about how I do this, because we already mentioned that ballpoint pen and just like pens in general are like, unless you're using like the friction ballpoint pen, it's kind of just more or less permanent. So another reason I want to work a little bit smaller is that I actually can do basically just normal lines like a pencil instead of always trying to darken it up back and forth. That makes sense? Like for the hair, there are some areas that I don't have to put too much pressure. And the only reason being I'm saying that is that when I work larger, I often feel like I needed more like contrast. So I'd often make like my lines thicker and darker. So I forgot to really plan out her ear. I feel like I'm gonna have like a lot of struggles doing fan art for Witch Hat Atelier. Because one of my favorite characters is definitely Orugio. I'm gonna be like ticking people off with how I pronounce his name. I'm apologizing right now. Basically, I don't draw a lot of characters that even have like facial hair. That's like a prominent look to him. I kind of wish I made her eyes larger. It's okay. But like I don't draw characters with usually shorter hair either. So I'm gonna struggle with this. I love drawing like fluffier hair. But I like Coco's hair a lot. I'm gonna try drawing agate. The one thing about like just the art style in general for Witch Hat Atelier, man, the line work and the detail and the environments and for the characters, it's crazy. And I love it so much. I'm gonna try my best just to, you know, enjoy the process right now. So I don't really care how long I really take for these drawings. Because I've talked about this before on like, I guess like some people's opinions about what is considered like a sketch. I just wouldn't call these like doodles per se. Not really doodling. Part of me wishes that I did end up adding a little bit of color, because like I mentioned, their outfits, the ones specifically for Key3's Atelier, it's like a beautiful kind of like turquoise color. And I really like it, especially like, oof, the name eludes me. Easties? Like their uniforms like are in red, right? Which I really like the contrast with this kind of like teal color that, or turquoise color that the Atelier has. I think because like the story is so like hard hitting for me, it is kind of like the reason I don't want to put any spoilers or alluding to anything, really. Even though there is a concept I would love to draw. Wow. Oh my god, the tariffs. I'll talk about that later. But I don't want to do any spoilers for like how things are right now if you haven't read it, because I like the way how they revealed things in the story, even though it kind of rips my heart into shreds. But I would love to draw Key3 with like a very specific kind of like motif, but I don't want to spoil anything. And I've already mentioned like the most recent chapter, I think chapter 93. Why? Even though like I was aware of the meaning behind a certain thing, I didn't know the context fully because I didn't read the chapters up until then, but now I do, and I was like, wow, this hurts. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, or if you have read it and you want a little bit more context of what I'm referring to, it's Olrugio and Key3's relationship and their past hurts me dearly. But this is like another thing, because I mentioned that I never really wanted to make fan art for Witch Hat Atelier, except for like the one for the 6th fan art, because technically it was requested. And I was very gung-ho, because like I do choose the requests technically, what to draw, so I did intentionally chose Witch Hat Atelier because one of you suggested it. But the thing I'm talking about is the fact that I care about like the characters, and I don't really want to do the characters like injustice, and I'm low-key afraid of not being able to draw these characters like super accurately. I'm gonna take my time to like practice in my sketchbook, because I would love to be able to draw other characters, let's say like Dagda and Olrugio. I'm gonna say Olrugio until said otherwise, unless you guys actually think it's Olrugio. Let me know. Maybe I'll change the way I pronounce it until the anime comes out and he's introduced. So you can see how like light and thin the lines can be, and then usually I would darken up the kind of like corners or places that I want more like line width variation or thickness to make it seem like it has more depth. And usually, because if I'm putting a lot of pressure, typically when I go like back and forth, that's when it really does put a strain on my hand. But if I take it more slowly and do more like hatching and just like straight on thinner lines that are lighter, then it obviously doesn't hurt as much. And I'm a little bit still too chicken to fully go only sketching with pen, which I had done in the past. But because I want to focus a little bit more on like actually inking this, we're not doing that today. I'm going to try my best to keep it clean and actually like my sketch before inking it. Because like I mentioned, if this is similar to pencil, then if I treat it the same way with like this very light kind of sketchiness and then darken it up really, then you can kind of hide your lines a little bit. And you can kind of skip that pencil step. I didn't count how many buttons she has, but it's okay. I do like how this is coming out. It's just fun. Just doing normal sketching basically. So the thing about pen also is that technically it also still smudges, but just a lot less than pencil. But this will also depend on the type of pen you're using. Pentel, this RSVP pen doesn't dispense as much ink like I mentioned earlier. So I feel like it's pretty good in terms of not leaving too much residue for my hand to be smudging around entirely. I forgot to mention song recommendations. So the one that I'm listening to right now, if anyone cares, is well, initially I was listening to Yuri's new song. I forget if it's called like The World's Ending or something like that. It's like a new single out right now, and it's very much like his style of song, which I really like. He's probably like my top male Japanese artist soloist that I love listening to. But right now I'm listening to, get rid of this ad, Soshi Sakiyama. I stumbled upon like a clip or a short on my feed. I'm like, wow, I like their voice and the style of songs, so I decided to look them up, and I actually really like their music, so that's what I've been listening to right now. Also, every time I ask you guys like what's your favorite sketching material if you're working like traditionally, thank you for answering me. I know a lot of you guys also like sketching with pencil. Some of you guys like working with markers or colored pencils as well, which is nice. I feel like if you haven't found that one medium, or even several, or like a combination of mediums that you like for sketching, then try your best to test out different types of mediums. See what you like the best. Because I will always have like my favorites, or try to find a way how to work like with a very specific medium that works best with either your style, or maybe your style changes depending on the medium, which is also very fun to do as well. There's like these, oh, maybe I'll show you guys. I made these pen holders. So I have like, it's not a good angle since now it looks like it's really floating for them, but it's kind of like this. So I made one for Dungeon Mushi, and I made one for Haikyuu as well. I want to make one for Witch Hat Atelier and Freerun. The Freerun version that I have is already sketched out. I'm in the middle of line work, but it's been like that for like several months. But I want to plan out the Witch Hat Atelier one because I want to make one that's focused on just the atelier, like Keyfree's atelier probably. I think in the future I will make like a actual sketch page. That I'll make like the full illustration that I want to make for Keyfree. Because as much as I love sketching like this, just like normal black and white, color would be also very fun because the colors are up my alley for this aesthetic for sure. So I don't know if it's because of like the fantasy genre, my love for the characters, or the fact that like, I don't know, there's something about it I feel very free drawing them. Okay, then she has like her pants color, which is fairly dark. I should check if I have like a teal color. Because the thing about using water-based markers for these, sometimes they react a little bit and smudge a bit with the ballpoint pen, but it's not as bad as using, let's say, my Energel Clana, or if I used alcohol markers with ballpoint pen, that is a no-go. Yeah, I should have made her cloak or coat. I don't know what you call this. I love the reasoning for it on why they have to have like this really big kind of like covering so that no one can see the, you know, the spells and drawings that they're casting. Like I mentioned, I kind of wish I made her eyes a little bit wider, like larger and taller for more of like that exciting wide-eyed expression for her curiosity. Our cutie Coco. Okay, so let me look up a reference for agate and I'll try my best. We'll draw her here and then Richie and then Rishi. I don't know how I want to pose her though. I'm kind of afraid to do her hair. I feel like it's like one of her defining features. And if I can't draw it correctly, I might be screwed. For some reason, when I do inking, without like making, whoa, I'm really off the one side. Without making the eyes like super dark, I've been doing more of like a, almost like this, like a hatching for the pupil, just to make sure it doesn't like be too round and dark. How badly is my computer huffing and puffing for you guys? It's not too bad. Okay, I'm gonna grab the art book actually. I'm gonna look at what her face and hair looks like. Let's see where she's at. Look how cute! She's so pretty. I love the four of them. Also, okay. This artwork is like one of my favorites. Look at them! And then look at her! She's so cute. I love them. Look at them. The four of them. So as long as I don't make her eyes like super round, I think we're okay. I just have to figure out. It's not like really a particular way to draw her hair, I guess. Her quill is, yeah, her pen is like long. This is gonna force me to learn how to draw a person holding a pencil or a hand. How do you call this? I guess it's hatching? These like, kind of like this texture, which I love. His expression's so cute. But there is one of Key3. This one, where it's more painterly, and I love it so much. Kind of esque. Is it Art Nouveau or is it Art Deco? Kind of like Klimt-ish look to it, but it's beautiful. Blow in the wind. I guess instead of horizontally, it would be this way, right? I have to look up what her pen looks like. Because I can see it very briefly, but it's covered by her knee in this picture. Because I'm looking at the official artwork too, for the reference. To make her hair a little bit more curly in a way. I'm like concentrating. Okay, let me see if I can find her pen. I don't know if I'll be able to. Maybe I'll just make it up on the spot. I can see that it's like a wooden This doesn't make sense. Make sure her face looks correct to a certain extent, and then try your best just to make sure it looks like her. I guess there are 6 buttons. We'll see. I don't know if I can do it as clean as I did for Coco. Apologies to anyone who's a fan of agate, like me. Her eyes are on the darker side, so I'm a little bit tempted to see if I can make it a bit darker. But sometimes that is how I screw up the eyes kind of badly. So far I'm not disliking it, but I'm not loving it either. I should have asked this at the very beginning, but do you guys have a favorite character in Witch Hat Atelier? If you read it. Also, I'm kind of glad that I left the last few chapters, because I definitely needed a little bit more time to digest it all. What was going on. Like I mentioned, I already knew what happens to or what happened to Kiefer, so it wasn't as shocking. Man, I don't know how to ink her. I'm glad I didn't put her face like right on the seam. I don't even know if I like it anymore. I should have left the eyes as is, even though I know like her eyes are darker. Man, I don't know how to draw Agate's hair. I think it's because I don't section it in the same way that that Shirahama does it. Because they obviously have a very particular way of drawing it because of how they do the line texture and hatching. If you guys are also sketching along, what are you working on? Think about where her shoulder is. Something like that. Because I wanted her cape to be more... Her cape? Is it a cape? I guess it's a cape. Cloak? Something like that. Yeah, I just didn't make her hair more wispy and curly. Good portion of her hair though, so that we can still kind of see the general shape of it. We're cutting into like Coco's little sparkle thing that I ended up drawing. I guess on camera it doesn't look as solid. You can kind of see all the areas that I missed, but in real life it's more seemingly covered. Let's try to darken it up even more. It's looking a little bit more like her. Or am I coping? Really talk about who's exactly my favorite character in Witch Hat Atelier. Because I'm so biased towards the characters that are in the Keyfree's Atelier specifically, like including Keyfree, obviously. But Olrugio, however you pronounce his name, I do really like, because he definitely seems so prickly in the beginning. I guess like Agate as well. Especially to Coco, she was very rude in the very beginning. But I love their friendship, honestly. Try to darken up. I should have left a little bit of highlight. It's okay. I didn't really do the collar portion because I was a little bit confused on how I wanted to interpret this. I also don't know if I wanted her shoulder to be here, but I guess I have to. Well, I don't have to, but you know what I mean. Okay, so what I want to do is kind of make almost collar kind of shiny-ish. So kind of similar like in Clip Studio Paint. The right Boru pen, I haven't used the sketch in a while because I've been always using the Fugo pencil. Maybe I'll return back to it because it's supposed to behave like a normal ballpoint pen. So like, you know, as you go back and forth on one area, it kind of gets like darker and darker. Kind of lost her brows a bit. Apologies if I do your character injustice. I guess Master Keyfree and Master Olrugio? Please tell me how you pronounce his name, or how you think his name is pronounced. Because I feel like El Rugio might make more sense because he's more fire based, and maybe like rouge isn't red, but it's not really spelled like that. It's like Olrggio, right? So maybe it's Reggio. Okay, here's Agate. This is what I'm gonna do for her. We'll put Riche? I always forget the kind of like black ribbon part. Like an indication that it's there. Same on this side. I guess I would cut into this portion too. Okay, so I was gonna sketch this directly with pen. Let's not do that so everyone has an okay time. I mean me mentally. I kind of want her looking down. She has very like droopy eyes, I guess might be the best way of describing it. I'll make these a little higher. I always feel bad. You guys can hear my squeaky chair. Does our girl have bottom lashes? I guess so. I guess like maybe all of them do. It just depends on how you do the inking, I guess. Because they do like Shirahama kind of has like the style where you break the line up as well. Okay, let's not give her too much of a baby face. So she has very short bangs. Oh my god, I forgot the other guy's name. Like I said, I don't want to give spoilers, so I don't know if I can describe him. The kid that has like a really crappy... Oops, let's put our ears a little higher. Since I do want her to be looking down a smidge. With the crappy master, and he has like black hair that's like in front of his face. I do like that character. I like their dynamic with her. Because I don't know if you'll call them like foil characters. I don't feel like her bangs are looking correct. I think there's a part the story where you meet her brother. I low-key got confused on who he was. I don't know if it's because I kept taking a break from reading the manga like I mentioned, but sometimes I got confused. When I saw him, I'm like, who are you? I do like his character and their relationship. I feel so bad for him. He's doing better now, but like his story is also kind of why. It sucks. Try it like this. I might add color into the background. I will find that kind of like tealy turquoise color. Just like smaller, thinner brows. There's just something about inking with ballpoint pen that I really like. I don't know, would you consider this inking? Or am I just drawing with ballpoint pen? Wish I didn't add that line. It's okay. I feel like I'm portraying her more shy, and she's not technically shy. Maybe I made her eyes a little too droopy. I didn't know what I was gonna expect from her character at the very beginning. But like I said, I do like the friendship that is born among the four of them. Because I would have a hard time picking a favorite out of the four apprentices. I feel like, have I talked about this before? When I first started doing like more drawing and my parents like took notice of when I was drawing, every time I did like the hatching or shadow underneath like the chin area, my parents were always like, why do they have like a beard? Why did you give them facial hair? And I'm like, what? I understand what they mean, but I never read it that way. So when these three are taking like their exam test. Oh, I guess Coco wasn't there. These two I meant, and then the kid with the black hair that covers their eyes. And they take their test. I forget the lady who's like low-key like the administrator, like she watches over your test. What is it called? Like your proctor, I guess, for an exam. I love her design too. Oh, I forgot to talk about the tariffs. There's like a weird app you have to use. I guess like because I was sending it via Canada Post. It's called Zonos? I hate it. We had like returned something back to the US, and I guess if it's a certain kind of return that we were making, they weren't gonna fund for like the shipping or whatever, but because of the tariff situation in the US, you get these Zonos and like they charge you afterwards for the tariffs for the item entering the US or whatever, and oh my lord. I understand it was low-key like a hefty-ish item, but I didn't want to pay $71 for tariffs. It's expensive. I love the color of her hair though. It's like a very soft, light... I was gonna say... No, I guess it's just a light blue, I guess. Kind of like Ayato and Ayaka from Genshin? Maybe that's like how I can describe her hair color the best, especially for you guys, because I feel like the majority of you guys know Genshin characters. I know not everybody, but a fair amount of you do. Whoops, I think this is supposed to be the part. What do you want to call it? I love their uniforms. I already talked about this too much. Besides the color, but just like in general, because it does have kind of like that formal touch. Like a little tassel at the very end. I don't know why at the very beginning I never noticed that Keyfree and his apprentices did not have the same cap design per se, because he has the long ribbon rather than the tassel like the girls. And obviously there's a reason for that, and that's what I'm talking about in chapter, is it 92 and 93 that talk about it? One of the last chapters that is like of recent, I guess, because it's not over, it's an ongoing manga. I'm so sucked into this world. For some reason I can see that my pen is skipping, which means there's like debris or something blocking it. Usually ballpoint pen's not too bad on like, gripping onto paper and stuff if there's random oils, I find. Going very lightly to give a tiny bit of shadow to Riche? I don't know. She's like a longer version of her name, which I feel like should give me more context on how to pronounce her name, yet it's eluding me a little bit more. So let's move on to our last apprentice, Tetia? One more. I feel like I want to do something a little bit more like jumpy, playful, because I feel like that's how she is. Her reasoning, I don't know if is it considered her reasoning for becoming a witch? Or like her goal? I think it's so cute. Okay. I don't know why I didn't think about this earlier. So I forgot the wiki for Witch Hat Atelier, like those fan wikis, have the katakana version, I believe it's the katakana, of their names. So Nietzsche? And we have Tetia. Pretty sure this is just agate. Agato, so probably agate. And then we have, okay, now I can figure out how to say Olrugio. How do you say your name? Yeah, it's katakana. Pop this into here. Olrugio. Okay, we'll call him that. Olrugio. It's better than saying Olrugio, you know? Olrugio. She's so cute. Okay, so let me... well, maybe I should zoom out since we're doing a little bit more of like, probably waist up. Do I want to draw her head similar size to the rest of the girls? Yeah, maybe we'll put her hand up there. That we can also fill the space. She also has more like lashes, but kind of similar-ish eyes to Coco. I feel like I always have troubles trying to preserve the eye style a bit more. I know I did Coco's differently, because usually for these characters, their highlights are at the top. Okay, I won't move on from the sketch until I actually like what my pencil sketch looks like. We'll run into a little bit less problems when I'm actually doing the inking. Just lower her cheek a bit. I want to make her look consistent with the rest of the girls. Okay, shoulder-wise, has to be at least raised. Just how do we want to do this? Something like this. Let's get her ears. Okay, I'm just gonna try my best to get the shape of her clothing first, because I am probably gonna have majority of her hair behind. So I need to make sure that I like her face, otherwise inking's going to be a problem. She also has like shorter-ish bangs. She kind of reminds me a little bit more like Dragon Ball hairstyle-ish. I don't know if I drew them too high up. I might have to move her hand a bit more. Maybe it's like up here? Ah! Okay. Maybe. Maybe I won't even draw her hand. Other than this one. Let's see. Bald. Here, because I made the hair so sparse. That's a little bit better. That's similar to the reference. I'm gonna have some of her hair peek through. Is this considered more like wavy rather than curly? She's like these cute pigtails. Alongside with her very wavy, curly hair. Which I shouldn't have put technically here. How do we want to do this? With the way that the cloth kind of sits, it will kind of cover up this portion. I always forget how long this part is. Because basically it covers like up until, are they like fully? Yeah, it goes past her arms, so it's like this cape part is very long. So I'll make sure I get the little bands, as well as the black ribbon that kind of flows. I'll loop it this way, maybe loop it the other way. So maybe I'll put Tetia's hand here. Okay, I should have also put a disclaimer at the very beginning. Because I told myself that I didn't really want to do any fan art of this series until like I fully consumed up until like, you know, where like I'm fully caught up, I guess is what I should say. Pockets or like the little black bands, I feel like she should, because all their uniforms I think are the same, like the ones that I did for Coco here. But yeah, you don't have to follow the same mindset that I did. It's more like I didn't feel like I was gonna do it justice, or if I didn't have like the full context of the character, which I know it's not like important to everybody, but for me it's like if I like a series a lot, I want to pour my love into it to a certain extent. So like if I want to, I want to have like a full understanding to the best of my ability. But like I said, it's not like you have to follow the same mindset as me. If you read like, I don't even know, even just a quarter of the chapters and you're like, I want to do fan art, feel free to do that. Even if you haven't seen the series and you only like the characters and you kind of like know the series by like low-key osmosis, then feel free to draw the characters as well. Like, there's no one stopping you. I think this is what we're gonna do. Okay, for our last character. Let's see if I can actually do this. So I have a little bit more of a stable way to ink this separate side, because the last thing I want to do is ruin her face. As I don't throw myself any curveballs, I think we're okay. And what I mean by that is sometimes I like my pencil sketch, and then for some reason when I'm doing, let's say, inking or whatever, I don't follow it, which is like strange. Why would you follow your sketch if you like it? Especially if you're just like inking it or making it darker. And sometimes I make those decisions like on the fly. Because even right now her eyes are looking a little different than how I kind of intended it to be. Her eye color, brown. Okay. I don't know if they were also like pink either way. I remember for like a long time, I always hated inking or sketching with ballpoint pen because of those ink blots, even though they do give me more of like a richer, darker black than some other ones. Also, why am I doing this? To be a little bit careful, because even if I do that, I could screw up the drawing or her face, I guess. Doesn't look that bad, so it's okay. What was I talking about? Pen. So this is definitely like my ideal ballpoint pen when doing something like this where it's like sketching and I'm just kind of like darkening what I would feel like is similar to my pencil sketches to a certain extent. And like I mentioned, sometimes I use like the Papermate ballpoint pens over this one, and it depends on what I want. So if I want like darker, richer lines, and I don't mind if they're a little bit more thicker, there's more ink blots, then I will definitely use that versus this one. But this one gives me more of like a delicate look, very much mechanical pencil-esque. So it's definitely my favorite. And everyone has their own preferences, right? Like if you were doing something that required you to do a lot of like scribbling back and forth, maybe this isn't the pen you would want to use because you might be putting more strain. I didn't really plan out where her hair tie is. Actual visible ear. Oh, I didn't realize that. I think at some point I mentioned that I wanted Riche? Is that how you say her name? I already forgot. I think it's Riche, right? Riche. That I wanted to put her ears higher up because she's supposed to be looking down slightly. Yeah, her hair covered it, so it didn't matter. Shading under the chin. So this gets a little trickier when I can't balance my hand here. I usually get a little bit more like wobblier lines. I think it's see, even like there. I think it's also because I'm pressing a little bit harder because I want that darker line to be more prominent. So like when I did my initial sketching with the pencil, it wasn't like that much of a problem. Then again, like none of it technically is a problem, or it shouldn't be. We're doing sketches, not like finished pieces here. We can afford to make mistakes and things that are not like up to like a certain standard. The funny thing is, like, I actually don't know when this video is gonna be coming out because I might be able to finish the other one beforehand. So this might not even be coming out like this Monday. If it comes out in February, whoops. Who knows? Okay, let's see. Okay, this almost looks like one of those sparkles, even though I know it's not. Kind of drew her ponytail a little bit too messy. Let's see, how do I want to do this? So I want this to be kind of more bunched up. She's lifting her arm, so I feel like fabric should be more like that. I might have drawn her arm a little bit too short. Maybe it's okay. I think it's also because of the puff sleeves, I can't really tell. But let's draw this hand. Whoops. So sometimes when I do shading, I do this both digitally and traditionally when I sketch. Sometimes I put a light line on where I want to have the shadow, let's say like this area, then I would actually, shade up into that line, and it kind of gives you a little bit more of like illusion of volume, but also consistency, so I know where to stop and start my pen. I don't do it all the time, but sometimes it's nice to have a little bit of a place where you can kind of break it or have like a stop. There's like other series of like anime and stuff that I really do like, but I never did fan art of them. Some of them I just feel like I wouldn't do them justice. I really like Gintama. I think I've talked about this before. March came in like a lion, or comes in like a lion. Chihaya Furu, Mob Psycho. Mob Psycho technically I've done fan art, so I can't really say that. I always make these really shiny. I feel like they're more like a matte black, so maybe I should just color them in flat. Okay. The white. I really do need to see if there's a reference of what the backside looks like for their kind of like cape. Because I actually don't know if this is also covering both sides as well. Because if that's the case, then I can see where this would start and stop. Because it'd be kind of similar to like just going around like a sleeve. I would love to make wooden pins for Witch Hat Atelier merch. I think it looks so cute. Or like pendants or something. Maybe I'll put the brush buddy somewhere here. Maybe near Coco. Because I know the series has been popular for a while. I only got interested in it because of a artist that I really like. Ended up doing fan art for it again. Because I've always seen them do fan art. But I never knew much about the series at the time. But then I heard more about them kind of like talking and gushing about the series that I'm like, maybe I'll give it a go. I didn't really check the differences between their dresses, or just like how they would wear their uniforms. See, it does not. And I guess she has more of like ruffles, or kind of like a petticoat maybe? Is that what it's called? Underneath her dress. I need to check the other two. I feel like I raised her forehead a little too high. Okay, we're almost done. Let's do the black ribbon. Do the same thing on this side. I might even, I know it's gonna look a little bit more warped for you guys. Lay this completely flat so that I can rest my hand. I know like before, if I couldn't rest my hand completely on a surface and I have to have it like slightly raised, sometimes I use my pinky as like a balance or like an anchor so that I put pressure on my pinky to give my hand a little bit more balance. But obviously this works a little bit more easier if I can rest my entire hand. I feel like she'd be a good leader though. It's like those optimistic ones. I think there's like a scene where Coco is like freaking out and like she's the one who kind of like gives her the confidence that they're like, you know, they're gonna be okay, that kind of stuff. But then her hands are also like shaking a lot because she's also afraid. I love her as a character. Like I said, I'm biased towards the entire, obviously, Atelier under Keyfree. In terms of like general character wise, in terms of like who would be my favorite, not like general character, but like generalizing like personality and like all that. Olrugio is probably my favorite. He's so I think it's because he has that gap moe for me. Because I literally thought he was gonna be like excuse my language, a hard ass. The amount he cares for them and helps other people, I love. He's very kind. But he's also like kind of silly in his own right. I have like 2 screenshots of him complaining about like when you finish a project and you want to scrap it, why do we do that? And is there like a phenomenon? There should be a name for it. I forget. There was one other one that I had as well. Okay, let's fill this up with the rest of her hair. She looks really cute, but kind of like similar to Coco. I kind of wish I made her eyes a bit like bigger or childlike, I guess. Maybe it's a better way of saying it. Okay, I also forgot that. Put a little bit more emphasis so that we can kind of separate her arm and her hand. So I'm gonna try my best to darken up a little bit of agate, pen in hand. So you can kind of separate it from Tetia. One last shadow, and I think we're gonna be almost done. Ah, I think they look all cute. Okay, so as much as I like the black and white like this, and hopefully you guys like my pen sketches, I'm gonna find, I think recently I told you guys about me getting like a pastel marker set. I'll probably go bring it out, and I think there might be the perfect color that I can use for the background for this. You guys will have a better look at this. Maybe I'll do a close-up first. Kind of a close-up of our pen sketches. So Coco. We have Riche. Riche? I forgot. My memory's so bad. Agate. And then Tetia, which I ended up, maybe that's my problem. I made this eye that's more towards like the 3/4. A little bit too small compared to this side. Oh well. We have Tetia as well. Here's kind of the overview, and these are the markers that I got, I think, right after Christmas. So they do look kind of like the Magify markers. Kind of the same format here. So they are dual tipped. And I have swatches, as I usually do. So let me look at the reference one more time. It's this one. So let's go ahead and find this marker for a different spread. I definitely want to draw the girls more again later. But how do I want to do this? Because for me, what I'm thinking is that I want to just box in something like this. I know some people won't like the fact that I'm doing this because it probably makes it a little bit too patchy looking. I always like having like a little bit of color. As much as I do like also monochromatic sketches, there's just something fun about color blocking like this. It's like one long finger. A little bit behind where Coco is, and then figure out if I can fill in some of these gaps. Other times, like, I would block out rectangles for each of the characters instead, but because there's so much overlap, I think it's just easier for me to fill in the entire page as if there's a rectangle like this. No, it doesn't really make sense where the direction of this is coming from. Oh well. I guess this as well. I think that's it for the gaps I kind of want to fill in. I think they look all cute. Are they 100% accurate? No, but I think this is very fun, at least for me. Yeah, thanks for hanging out. Probably for another, I guess, long sketch with me. I would love to do like an actual digital kind of spread, for all of them. Or maybe, I don't know if I want to do photo cards for them. If I do, then maybe I'll do like little portraits of them. I think it looks super cute. I think my brain's just so pilled that they're more like idol coded whenever I do photo cards, which is not the case. I think it'd be fun. Could be fun to do one for all of them. Or something. Or like a little Polaroid of everyone at the atelier. Maybe? If not, I will definitely try to draw Keyfree. And Arugio and Keyfree. But yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed watching me work on this little spread. I could have darkened up some areas on Coco, but I think I'm just gonna leave it. And yeah, I think that's it for today. So let's go ahead. Oh, maybe I'll write the date. So today is the 22nd. I can't wait for the anime for this. I just want to see them all voiced and moving. Beautiful art. Okay. Let's put in our bookmark, and I'll talk to you guys next time in the next video. Oh, the spine of this is breaking. Bye!